Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Blades of Avernum. Last episode, we started up a new scenario, Basikava, where we're hunting, where we were told to come out here by a Slith prophet known as Legate, whatever you want to call it. I think that was the name. We've gone and explored through this place, and I have concerns. Anyway, we need to purify ourselves before anything else, but first, there's a few people here to talk to. This Slith sits behind a counter, keeping track of papers. He looks up at you. Yes? His voice is extremely sibilant. What do you do here? I check in new arrivals. All new arrivals must purify through the 12 purification pools. Then they may recover in the guest rooms. After that, they may travel on to Basikava. Am I supposed to check in with you? If you are a pilgrim, yes. You are not. You work for the Prophet. Thus, I already knew that you were coming and you do not need to check in. Do many people pass through here? Many, many Sliths wish to join the Prophet in his glorious quest. Quest? He looks at you as if you were slightly daft. It is not for me to speak of such things. Ask Cass. How did you learn human language? He shrugs. I picked it up over years with humans. I can write well, but I cannot get rid of this accent. He's right. Even his F's and T's almost sound like hisses. I am from the Abyss. Their race did not matter. We fought for survival alongside the humans as if they were the same as us. If you are from the Abyss, you must be accustomed to overcoming difficult situations. He nods. After years in the Abyss, the chance to journey to the homeland is a greater one than I ever expected to be offered. I am grateful to King Micah for allowing us to leave the Abyss to take advantage of this opportunity. We of the Abyss are in his debt. This Slith has just finished washing himself with the purifying water. He shakes from the pain of the acidic water. He looks up at you. Yes? Who are you? Name Thesphis mine, he says, struggling to speak your language. From Waterfall Warrens, long ways. What are you doing? Purify. He points to the pool of water. Prophet says we must. Basikava. He thinks for a moment, and then, in heavily accented speech, he struggles out. I want to go to Basikava. The Prophet says must purify if go to Basikava. What is Basikava? Home, the Slith replies. He is sure of that word, at least. Basikava, home. Why are you shaking? Water burn. Purify but burn. Okay. For the sick, the young, or the elderly. Oh, this powder. Okay. Cast spray. Okay. I haven't purified yet. That one doesn't respond. The Slith is washing himself with the water from the purification pool in front of him. He shakes as he applies the water to himself. It sizzles as it hits his skin, the acid burning away at him. He is busy and will not talk to you. Temple Treasury, awaiting relocation. Okay. The sign on the pool says, wet hands, apply lightly to arms, shoulders, and legs. The water has a faint acrid smell to it. What do you do? Wash yourself with the liquid. You follow the sign's directions. The water burns. It eats away at your skin, but following Cass's instructions, you ignore the pain. You clear your mind and continue washing. Eventually, you finish. You're not sure if you're more pure, but your body is covered in acid now. That was fairly painful. Wash yourself with the liquid. You follow the sign's directions again. The acid burns again. It feels even worse this time. Wash yourself with the liquid. It's even worse this time. That is a lot of acid. Wash yourself with the liquid. That is a lot of acid. Cass looks at you patiently. I have purified. Good. Now we may discuss matters of importance. You must want to know very many things. I am afraid that my answers must be limited. I cannot speak for the Prophet in many things, only where you must go now. However, you are welcome to ask me whatever you like. What is Basikava? We Sliths are exiles, just like the humans and Nephils of Avernum. Basikava is the name of the city built at the end of the tunnel through which we came into our exile here in Avernum. Basikava is the way to our homeland. If people know about Basikava, why haven't the Sliths gone home then? He chuckles at your ignorance. Basikava is, in Slith tradition, known as Lost Basikava. We did not know until very recently where it was. That was the Prophet's first gift to us, knowledge of the location of Lost Basikava. There are other obstacles, too. The tunnel that leads from Basikava to our homeland is long, and it has been sealed by enormous steel doors. Years ago, when Sliths lived here, they could not pass through those doors, or we would be home now. Thus the Prophet's second gift, the knowledge of how to open the doors. He knows how to open the doors. Yes. The goddess, glory be to her name, had seen fit to grant him the power to open the gateway home that has been closed to us for more than 200 years. I cannot say more. You must hear the rest of the good news from the Prophet's mouth directly. Thus I should tell you what you must do now. What is this Temple of the Goddess? What goddess? The Temple of the Goddess is what we true believers have erected in the past month. We have the full 12 purification pools, and we are adding a library filled with religious texts, the Prophet's writings, and priestly spellbooks. The temple was built in tribute to the goddess of the Prophet, of whom we know very little. The Prophet has seen fit to tell us only a few of her words. She is a goddess of healing and forgiveness, in contrast to the brutal war gods of the Darklings, the evil Sliths who even now, as their race dies, foolishly make war against humanity. She is the mother of all Sithkind, and she has told the Prophet that now is the time to return home again. Who is the Prophet? He is known to those not of our faith as Legare, not Legate, my bad. He was a warrior of the small group of Sliths who lived in Basikava 20 years ago, before it was destroyed. He was on an expedition to discover an answering stone, a prayer aid for the Sliths of those days, and the expedition met with disaster. Drakes attacked it, and he was the only survivor. A group of humans followed shortly after, and they found the answering stone. The Prophet, however, remained below, meditating. For 20 years he stayed there, meditating and living off the few cave fish. After some time, when he was aching with the pangs of hunger, the goddess came to him. She told him the good news. I remember that. Good news? She told him that the time of exile was nearing its end. He was the one who would lead the Sliths back to their homeland. He was chosen to be the one to redeem us for our sins and bring us back into the place where we belong. The Prophet communed with the goddess for years, preparing his body, his mind, and his prayers. He asked her many questions, and she revealed to him many truths that we are not ready to hear yet. As we progress in our faith, he will tell us more. For now we know nothing more than that after he spent 20 years in that cave, the Prophet emerged. He traveled to Nass and sent out a call to all Sliths. Come to the Temple of the Goddess. And they came. Now that Lost Basikava is found and the doors will be opened, the time is truly near. We shall return home, and the Prophet is responsible for this. What are we supposed to do now? You must go to Basikava. The Prophet waits for you there. I know little of your mission, and I am under strict orders not to say any more than that. The Prophet will tell you all that you need to know. To get to Basikava, walk out the temple exit to the north of here. You are welcome to look around before you do. You are invited to witness the awe and majesty that is the Temple of the Goddess. We are gentle folk who live here. We ask only that you commit no act of violence in the temple. You are free to speak with whomever you wish, and you may enter any of the rooms. I recommend visiting the library. It is small because it is new, but it is still worth seeing. It is in the northeast corner of the temple. And we have done so already. Sign says, wash your hands, please. Wash your hands. Okay. Well, we've already explored throughout all of here, so I guess the only thing to do now is head out. The Slith stands by the controls to the gate, watching you. What do you do here? Gate. I open, I close. Will you open the gate for me? Cast save, pass. He opens the gate. Thank you. So what happens if we go out the other side anyway? And we're stuck here. Unless we talk to him and have him open the gate. Thank you. So what does happen if we go out the other side? I am curious. We can, actually. Here, Basikavan lands end. Do you wish to leave these mad zealot Sliths behind and seek adventure elsewhere? No, more needs to be done. You step away. Despite the strangeness of your mission, you will stick for it for a little longer. Regain our energy. There we go. Good enough. Alright. Speak to you. Open the gate. Thank you very much. And we move on through. Alright, let's move on down this tunnel. There's quite a lot of devastation around here. Blast marks, rubble, and skeletons are everywhere. The skeletons are clearly of human and Slith origin. They all look old, but not too old. It appears that there was a massive battle here some years past. The somewhat tattered Empire emblem still visible on the cave wall leaves no doubt about the identity of the human deceased. The Sliths, however, are more mysterious. They bear far too few weapons to be the famed Darklings of Sliths. As you look through the wreckage, it becomes clear. The Empire attacked and destroyed a village of unarmed, defenseless Sliths. They killed every last one, and then they burned the village. You move past the devastation. Basikava lies not too far ahead. And here we are. You enter Basikava. Somewhere within, Laguerre awaits. He should be able to tell you your mission. As you take your first few steps, you notice that the nearby area has many very old bloodstains. Someone has tried to clean them, but they are still visible. Many Slith corpses have been shoved into this back tunnel. The Empire symbol was painted on the wall. The bodies are old, probably at least 10 or 15 years. I remember this place. I do remember it. More bodies here. Yes, I do remember. We were a group of adventurers in, I want to say, Avernum 2, who came out here at some point and found these people who were exploring to try and find Lost Basikava. We found it, and we found some doors that said something. This room is more cleaned up than the others. It still has old bloodstains, but they are faint. The central feature of the room is the altar. A very calm, serene Slith priestess turns to face you as you come in. She smiles to see a fellow Slith, and then she continues going on about her work, not bothered overmuch by your presence. This Slith is busy writing a book. She looks up at you. Greetings, outsiders. Welcome to the Lost Basikava Memorial. Who are you? My name is Skasa. I am the caretaker of the memorial. The prophet himself chose me for this job personally. She shines with pride. Do you know where Laguerre is? When you say the word Laguerre, she looks mildly outraged, but she seems to forgive you. The prophet is in the fort. The fort? The fort. It is farther into this tunnel. What is the Lost Basikava Memorial? It is for the town that you see around you. This was once a town filled with the most educated and most holy Sliths in Avernum. Then the Empire came and slew them all. Rather than cleaning everything up, we left it as it was and built the memorial so that we would never forget. The Empire has committed crimes against Slithkind, but unlike the Venatai, we have not gone insane with vengeful rage. What did the Venati do?
Let me not dwell on their madness. You may learn the answers to those questions elsewhere. We are here in Las Basicava only to focus on our own atonement.
What is this place, this Basicava?
It is the way home. All three races of this area of Avernum, the Sliths, Nephils, and humans, are exiles. The Nephils and humans are exiles from the surface world. We Sliths are exiles from elsewhere. Somewhere beyond the tunnels under Basicava lies the Slith homeland. It is to the homeland that we wish to go, but we cannot return yet.
Why not?
We were exiled for worshipping dark gods. This should be familiar to you. The darklings of Avernum continue in these misguided ways to this day. Powerful priests decreed that we could not return to our homeland until we repented and redeemed ourselves for the evil we had done. The way has been closed to us until now.
What happened?
Why, the prophet, of course.
She fairly glows as she speaks about him.
The goddess revealed to the prophet the way to redeem ourselves and told him how we could return home. Our punishment, our long exile, is almost over. Soon we will return home. To home unseen, unknown, unseen, unheard, but not unfelt, unwanted, loved.
She trails off. What was that?
That was part of one of the prophet's poems. They are beautiful. The prophet writes such amazing things. The goddess must show him the most wonderful visions. I can hardly wait for the next time he tells us what she has told him.
What is this place, this Lost Basicava? Oh, we already asked that. Okay, we have already asked about all of them. Alright, thank you for your time. Can't take those coins, can't take that. The ruins here glow viciously. This looks as though it used to be a pair of breeding pools where baby sliths were raised. The pools have since been filled with lava. Apparently destroying this place was not enough. The Empire wanted to make sure that it could never be a viable Slith town again, an effort that is not without irony since it is now the central rallying point for these Sliths. The room is filled with demonic energy, choking you. Garzad, leader of the Empire's forces during the Empire Avernum War, was not above using dark powers to augment his spells. Oof. A crude spear in there. A Slith who probably fought to the last. Curious, the hallway here has windows into guard rooms. These guards could attack anyone coming through here. Also, the hallway is extremely narrow, so that not many people could come through at once. A Slith stands here watching the gate. He looks at you carefully, and he seems to recognize you. Do you know who we are?
Yes, you are the ones the prophets said were coming.
Will you open the gates?
You may pass.
Thank you. A human. Before you stands a confident woman, probably somewhere in her late 20s. She is human. She also radiates power. For someone so young, she has achieved great magical strength. She has an impressive physical specimen, too. Somehow she has managed to combine weapon skills with magical and priestly ability. Good all around her.
Hello, I am Phaedra.
What are you doing here? You're a human.
I am not the only non-Slith here, she says with a nod to your party. Other than us, a human named Macron is also here. Basicava holds secrets of interest not only to Sliths, but to all races.
Macron! The journalist! I'm starting to love this guy. He's showing up everywhere. What sort of secrets?
Secrets of the past. I read an account written by a member of the party that assassinated Emperor Hawthorne 20 years ago. That party, before the assassination, came here. They went into the tunnels below. They found ancient ruins below Lost Basicava, ruins clearly built by Sliths, but ruins of buildings that were skillfully constructed. The Sliths of Avernum are not natural architects. The few who can build learn the skill from humans. But these Sliths who came through Lost Basicava already had the skill. It is my belief that the Sliths of the homeland are tremendously advanced, perhaps even beyond the Venati in magical skill. They would know much useful to learn.
What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm an adventurer, just like you. I've been around and seen many strange things. I can identify your items for you if you want.
But where's your party?
I adventure by myself. I suppose I prefer not to rely on anyone else for aid. I can wield magic and use a sword. What else do I need? Fighting by myself has allowed me to gain great power over a short period of time. Looking at her, you can't argue. I want to make a guess here that maybe never. Maybe Calandon made this character as like a singleton party in Avernum and he's tossing her in. I don't know. Are you the daughter of Justin and Rita? Why, yes. How did you know? The librarian in the Temple of the Goddess told me. Oh, Athas! I have known her for a long time. My father and mother used to let me play with her when I was little and we visited Ness. She even taught me a little of the Slith tongue. Yes, my dear father and mother were Justin and Rita. They passed away recently, but I try to honor their memory by living as they would have me live, learning as much as I can about the world and making a difference while I'm doing it. Have you met Laguerre? Ah, yes, the prophet. He is an interesting fellow. How so? He is the most intense Lazarakai I have ever met. My parents brought me with them on all of their travels. I have met all sorts of beings. I spoke with Empress Prazak, the dragons Mortax and Selphris, the Encantrix Erica, King Micah, and many other powers. But Laguerre reminds me of no one quite so much as Rentar Irno.
Rentar Irno.
Yes, the mighty Venatai Archmage. I met her once before she disappeared, and her passion, her awesome power, and her willingness to use that power in any way necessary to achieve her goals, and her raw charisma were much the same as this Laguerre. I realize the seriousness of what I am saying, and you should too. You are supposed to meet with him, correct?
Yes.
Listen carefully, then. Laguerre is obsessed with finding the way back to the Slith homeland. He will stop at nothing, I think. I have found no sign that he is dangerous yet, but the moment that I do, I am under orders to report back to Fort Dranlon. If you should at some point notice that I am gone without warning, it means that I have gone to seek reinforcements. It would be best for you to get well away from here before then, because I will return with an army, and we will subdue these Sliths. Something about the way she says the word subdue leaves no doubt as to what she means. Laguerre had better not give Phaedra any reason to believe that she is dangerous. That he is dangerous. 5 coins per item for identification. That's nice at least, but jeez. There's a whole bunch of Sliths in here, but dang. Those don't see anything. In this room sits a young man scribbling down notes. He looks up at you. Ah, adventurers! He says the word adventurers differently than most say it. Most say it in the way that one would say, a shipwreck infestation, or a steaming mound of filth in my favorite chair. This person actually sounded happy to see you. Okay. This man finishes writing down a note. He looks up at you and you get a good look at him for the first time. His skin is not pale like an Avernite's. He is from the surface. He is younger than you first thought. He must be in his late teens, if that. His bright eyes dart everywhere, taking in every detail, and he writes down everything that he finds interesting. Adventurers, pleased to make your acquaintance. You must tell me all about the places you've been, and the things you've done, and the items you've acquired that don't belong to you. I've been stuck here long enough that I need to get something out of this at least. I haven't acquired any items that don't belong to me. Sure, that's what they all say. What is it that you do? I am a journalist. I witnessed important events, I interview the people who took part, then I write articles about them and send them off to my employer, who sells copies of my articles. It's an unusual profession, but a rewarding one. I have just begun my work. This is my first solo assignment. Why are you here? I am to report on the phenomenon of the prophet. You see, I am from the surface. My news organization had heard of the events here, and the organization decided that these events were so important that they needed a man on the scene. They looked through the organization and they decided that only one man would suffice. Me! Imagine that! They sent me, the most junior reporter, all the way down here to Avernum to cover a story of this importance. The trip here was rather long, and Laguerre has been rather uncooperative, but I'm sure that I'll be making headway in no time. Then I'll have some lovely news to report. What troubles have you run into? Well, getting here was hard. I had to take a ship out to Krizstan in southern Valorum, and from there I rode a horse to Fort Emergence in Upper Avernum. Then I rode across the caves to the portal fortress. I waited for my turn to use the portal. When it came, I teleported down to the newly rebuilt Tower of Magi in southeastern Avernum. I walked up to Silvar, and then I took a boat out west and then north up to here. And now that I'm here, I've waited a week just to speak with Laguerre.
Cass tells me that any day now the Prophet will spare a few moments of his precious time to speak with me. Have you learned anything interesting about the situation here?
Why, yes, I have. I have learned that the Sliths here are from all possible places of origins. Many are from Nas. A few grew up in human cities. At least one tribe is from the Honeycomb, and there's even a tribe from the Waterfall Warrens. There is a kind of stratification of power among them, though. The Nas Sliths occupy many more positions of power than, for example, the Waterfall Warren Sliths. Cass, the Gair's second in command, is from Nas. So far, I haven't seen any resentment among the various tribes for this treatment. Laguerre has managed to unify them under his religion, but the tribal rivalries are underneath the surface, waiting to emerge. That's all for now, thanks. Okay then. Interesting to see him again. As you enter this room, you see Cass.
Hello, he says, smiling. His tone is a little strained, however. Something must be wrong.
Welcome to Vasikava. I am sure you have many questions for me, and I have much that I must tell you, too.
Aren't you supposed to be back at the Temple of the Goddess?
I was only there to greet you. Once I had done that, I returned here, where I can carry out the Prophet's orders with the greatest efficiency I can. I know a few secret passages of which I make use regularly. You took the long way here.
This place is a disaster area.
It is rather devastated. However, it is a historical landmark. The Sliths who lived here were the first Darklings to repent.
What are Darklings?
Darklings are the Sliths of Avernum who persist in the evil ways that got them exiled to Avernum in the first place. It is time for you to learn a little of our history.
Tell me about the history of the Sliths.
Come and sit in these chairs, and I will tell you the story.
You do. Cass is waiting for you to enter the room so that he can tell you the story. You can't leave. Okay then.
Cass begins speaking, and his voice sweeps you away. The Sliths of Avernum are exiles from the Slith homeland, just as the Nephils and humans are exiles from the surface. Our story begins more than 200 years ago, with one named Thys, ancestor of the Sliths who was the last leader of the Darklings. Thys worshipped a dark god, defying Slith traditions. The apparition appeared before him in a spiritual form, and it gave him demonic orders. O mighty Grahoth, how may I serve you?
Kill, kill, kill.
At the Dark Lord's biddings, Thys led an insurrection against the rightful authorities of the Slith kingdom. He began a civil war. Eventually, Thys was defeated. We surrender. He and his followers faced trial from the Slith leaders. This we find you guilty of vile demon worship, and of deliberately causing devastating civil war. As punishment, we have decided that you and all of your followers must go in shameful exile to lands far away. No! Quiet, fool. The Slith authorities led Thys and his followers through tunnels. How far they went, our histories do not tell. When they came out of those tunnels, they were in the lands now known as Avernum. What is this place?
It is your new home. Learn to love it. You may be here for a long, long time.
We're trapped. The doors are locked. What was that? A voice began to speak in the minds of each of the Sliths present.
Be it known that the servants of Thys and all his progeny are banished from our civilized lands. Spread whatever evil you want, fight whatever senseless wars you want, but do it far from us. Never will any of the dark progeny of Thys return through this portal until they have at least learned the virtues of patience and peace. Farewell. May the gods watch you and grant you wisdom.
Thys, you've gone too far. We can't follow you anymore. Traitor! What will you do without me? We will learn the virtues of patience and peace.
Yeah! Will anyone else follow this coward?
I didn't think so. Come, this is not a disaster. Here at least we shall be free, free to live as we wish, free to worship as we choose, free from their laws, customs, and ways. All true Sliths, come with me. We shall explore and conquer this new land. Come on! But the Slith who had objected, Dathos, decided to stop following this. He convinced several others to join him, and they rebelled, staying near the huge steel doors that had barred them from the homeland, seemingly forever. They built a new town, Basikava. In Basikava, Sliths sought to honor the gods that they had forsaken and regain their lost purity. While the Darklings were off waging war, the Basikavans were struggling to find holiness. O great gods, please accept our humblest apologies for our terrible transgressions. And so it remained for 150 years. Then something terrible happened. Sliths, grandson of this, successfully summoned Grahoth into this plane of existence. By the fires of the underworld, by the infernal might of our Sliths sacrifices, by the strength of our faith and the might of our spears, Grahoth, I summon thee! You have done well, Sliths. You will be rewarded. Soon, when the humans arrived, the demon-worshipping Darklings took Grahoth's side in the war between the demon and the Avernite humans. However, Grahoth was defeated. Many of the Darklings had defected during the war or surrendered at this point. These Sliths founded the city of Nass. The Sliths of Nass still remembered that they were exiles, and they knew the name of Basikava, but they had forgotten its location. Since they could not find it anymore, Basikava became known as Lost Basikava. Meanwhile, the other Darklings continued to fight. 50 years passed. Sliths, grandson of this Sliths, was the leader of the Darklings. Then a heroic band of adventurers slew him. Nice job, Philip. Thanks, Melissa. At the same time, the prophet was in Lost Basikava. The tribe there still lived, but they had lost a powerful magical device, the answering stone that aided their prayers. The prophet prayed, and a vision appeared to him. O great gods, give me a sign. Show me how we Sliths may recover your answering stone. Who are you? I am a friend. What are you doing here? You want the answering stone. I know how to get it. How? The goddess told the prophet how to retrieve the answering stone. He gathered together an expedition to go below into the tunnels. However, in the tunnels, they were attacked. Where are the others? Uh-oh. Drakes! Run, Laguerre! I can't leave you. Just go. The prophet ran to a secret hiding place. He stayed there, away from the Drakes, waiting for a week. Then something strange happened. This way, Mycroft! Who are you? The same adventurers who had slain Sliths had discovered Basikava, and now they were attempting to do what the prophet's expedition had failed to do. Recover the answering stone. I know something that may be useful. I learned a ritual that will cause the stone to hum when you are nearby. I will teach you. Cool! They fought their way past the Drakes and recovered the stone. They returned to the Basikavans above, and they returned to speak with the prophet again. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. You can't come with us, you know. Yeah, come home. I thank you for your offer. It may sound strange to you, but I am meditating, down here, alone. I've gained a new, strange clarity of mind. One day I will return to my people. Not yet. For 20 years the prophet stayed in that cave, meditating. He lived on a diet of cave fish, and he prayed for another vision to tell him what to do. Finally, the goddess appeared to him and gave him the revelation. You! Yes, Laguerre. It is I again. The goddess told him that he was to be the one foretold. He would lead the Sliths back from exile to home at long last. You have heard the story since then. He resurfaced, journeyed to Nass, and sent out a call to all Sliths to join him. He, the last child of lost Basikava, showed us the way to this holy place. And here we are, nearly ready to make the journey back home after 200 years of exile. I am sure you are wondering what this has to do with you.
Well, yes.
The tunnels beneath are still filled with drakes. The Prophet needs you to clear the tunnels of monsters. You will prepare the way for our return home. It is a glorious task that he asks of you. That is why he summoned you here. Now, I am sure that you wish to get up and walk around a bit before we continue our discussion. That was a long story, I know, but you must understand the undertaking that you will be a part of. Walk around a bit and warm up your limbs. When you are ready to begin speaking with me again, we can discuss your mission.
Oh! Well, that happened. I didn't expect that story to suddenly be that long. That's going to make this a longer episode, but you know what? That was fascinating. I haven't seen a cutscene like that in an Avernum game in a while. And there was real reference to things that happened in the other Avernum games. I am sure many people would probably be a bit upset, I guess, to see that it's a different party that killed Sliths and helped Laguerre here. And apparently Laguerre was actually a character in there. I didn't realize that. There are still things that concern me about all this, but still, this is fascinating. I love how this is tying things in to the original Avernum games, as much as it is, and making so many references to it. I love that. But this episode has gone on long enough, so we'll go speak with her in a bit. Also, I did just think of something that I want to check. Just one thing. Because I remember, I can't believe I remember this, but way back when, I could have sworn there was a secret path back here. I guess it's not still there. A pity. That would have been a nice little thing. Anyway, my throat's a bit dry, and this episode has gone on long enough. Next episode, we will speak with Cass again and learn more about what we are to do. That'll be in the next episode, so until then, I'm Trustic44, there's Fox, Sheik, Bonnie, and Draco. This has been a Blades of Avernum Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.